Okay, so today's video is how I first bought my house at the age of 25. Yes, I'm about to rock your world right now and let you into a little secret. I'm not actually 25. But of course you didn't click this video to guess or speak about my age. You actually clicked it, at least I hope, because one, the thumbnail was engaging, two, the title made you think, and three, maybe you want to get yourself on the property ladder as well, as young as 25. So I'm hopeful that the information I provide in this will help you move along your journey and get yourself a property as well that can really benefit you in the long term in regards to wealth. So what I thought is, for this particular video, I'm going to do the following. I'm going to give you 5 main things from this video that you'll definitely walk away with, so make sure you stay to the end. The first is I'm going to tell you about the actual house that I bought at 25. Secondly, I'm going to tell you how I actually bought it. The third thing I'm going to tell you is, well, the things that I should have done better, because there's always ways you can improve. The fourth, I'm going to tell you, well, some of the stuff that I actually did well. And the fifth, I'm going to tell you how you could buy your own property by the age of 25. Or hopefully even earlier, if you are young and aspiring to be a property investor and you're watching these videos. So before we get going, now is a brilliant time to hit that like button. Okay, so number one, the house that I actually bought. Now this was the exact house that I bought that you can see on the screen right now. And I purchased this when I was 25 years old. And if I told you that I had read The Secret a few years prior to buying this house, and I had listened to every single one of Tony Robbins' audiobooks and really wished this into my life and kind of manifested it, that I would have a house and a car by the age of 25, I'd be 100% telling the truth. But we all know that simply reading a book is not going to get you the house or the car. There was actually a few other things that I had to do as well. So anyway, this was a 3-bed linked detached house that was around 1.5 miles from where my parents actually lived at the time, and in an area I knew pretty well. Now all these are really important points for you doing any sort of due diligence or market research in terms of the actual asset that you're buying. Now I bought this house, as you can see, for £118,500, and I actually bought it from a motivated seller. Now, without going into the boring details of what a motivated seller is, because I actually have a video coming out on this very soon, so make sure you subscribe. It's just somebody who needs to sell it quick, but there can be many reasons why they want to do it. Motivated seller, reason for selling. It's not really rocket science, but I understand terminology in this game can get over our heads. So I've also done a video explaining over 100 acronyms and abbreviations that we use in this property space over here for you. So make sure you check that out as well. I think it's very short. You can literally screenshot it and then you've got yourself a little bit of a glossary. Okay, back to the video. So as this was purchased when I was 25, at this point I wanted to buy a buy-to-let. And to get a buy-to-let, you need 25% deposit, which works out at around 29,500. Now, if you're new to property and you do have £30,000 saved up, maybe yourself, with your friends or with your family, to spend on a buy-to-let, just know it might cost slightly more. So if you're going to buy a house for £118,500, like I did, there are extra costs such as your stamp duty, which obviously depends upon the purchase price and your current portfolio, i.e. is it an additional property. There'll also be broker fees involved and legal fees, but let's just ignore that for now because that's for another video. But in terms of actually buying this, it was a very simple process. It was listed with a local agent. I knew I had roughly £35,000 to spend, and I also knew the area pretty well. So in terms of managing it, I knew that I could always go down maybe on a weekend and, well, I was going to say fix things, but I can't actually fix anything. And I also knew the rent as well would be around £575 in current condition at this time, to maybe £625 if I did it up. Now, when I actually brought this, I took my mum along with me because that's what grown-ass men do at the age of 25. But there was a reason for this. You see, we met the vendor directly, as the vendor was happy to do the viewings themselves, which for us, well, that was actually fantastic. So when I go through these training courses, you're going to realize the importance of getting direct to vendor. Because one of the things this vendor did is she instantly built a rapport with my mom. Now, I'm not here to spill the beans on why she was a motivated seller, but let's just say she was very motivated. And as a result of this, I kind of sit back in hindsight and I think, I could have really got a discount here. I could have probably got, what, 10, maybe even £15,000 more. But this I'll explain in the motivated seller video. So anyway, we managed to agree, and yes, I got my negotiation hat on. And yes, I managed to negotiate some of the price. So I got it BMV, below market value. And do you know how much that was? Wait for it. Yeah, a whole £1,500 off the price. Now for some of you that may seem like a lot, but I know that I just could have got more, and I just knew that my negotiation skills were really bad. So at this point I had two choices. I could either continue my career as this talented up and coming salesperson, or I could just continue to purchase properties, making really shrewd investments and negotiations like I just did. Sadly, I did neither. Now, the third thing I said I'll explain on this is that everything I've done in hindsight, which is a fantastic gift by the way, it always reminds you that you could have and should have done things better. And for this, I'll just quickly list some of the things that I just should have done better. So the first thing I could have done is obviously got a better deal. As I explained, this was a motivated seller who would have took her hand off at whatever price I said within reason. The second was that I shouldn't have brought it with my emotions. Now, one of the downfalls I've had in this game is I think a lot with my heart. You guys need to think with this, because even when I rented it out, I rented it to a couple, and well, they were basically just a nice couple, and as a result of that, I gave them a discount on the rent. And I remember a few times they weren't paying properly, and I was like, don't worry about it, let's just cover the mortgage. And I wasn't really running property like a business, and you guys need to. The third thing is I shouldn't have sold it. Yes, I sold it for £125,000 as you saw 2 years later, but I also spent a bit of money on doing it up. There was some Japanese knotweed there as well, which cost me a fair bit. And I look back now and well, the houses on that road for a 3-bed detached, they're a lot more. Now, I would put an image of exactly how much they're going for on the road, but it's just gonna make me depressed, especially when I edit this video. And for that reason, I won't. And the fourth thing that I realized was that I should have done an interest-only mortgage instead of a repayment. Now, this again is a video for another day, where I would try to explain the benefits between an interest-only and a repayment as well, in a lot more detail. So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get updated when that comes out. Anyway, that's all the crap out of the way, but I did do some things well. For once. And the things that I did well, I'm about to explain to you now. And the first was I actually got started. I acquired that landlord experience, which many years later, when I went on to become a full-time property investor, actually helped my CV, is that the right word for it? And I also learned about managing tenants as well, and just the very basic concepts around a refurb. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, I learned about Japanese knotweed and treating Japanese knotweed in order to sell the property. So it was definitely a learning curve. And I think the most important thing I realized was that if you put £30,000 in a property, it's a lot safer than £30,000 in my bank, because I know I would have spent most of that on alcohol in Leicester Square. So always try and think of property as a vehicle, as an asset, where your money is actually going to be moving and growing a lot better than just sat in the bank. And now finally, the thing I'm going to try and help you with is to get your own property by the age of 25. Now if you're past 25, let's call it 30 or 35, but I'm going to help you as much as I possibly can on this channel to really get that. But I feel I need to give some context in relation to how I personally purchased a property at 25. You see, one of the first things I did was I actually worked from the age of 15 and 50 weeks. Now the reason I said the 50 weeks is because technically I wasn't actually allowed to get a job for that particular role until I was 16. But well, I used my negotiation skills again. And then other than that, there was no rocket science. I just saved a lot of money. So I put some away for a rainy day with no actual intention of investing in property, but it definitely came in handy. And then the other thing I had in my favor was that I had a salary above £25,000 at the age of 24. Now this really helped me, because at this point, that was kind of the criteria that you needed a minimum salary of 25. Now I know things have changed, so don't worry. And I know everything I've just said there could be quite daunting in terms of getting a salary like that at such a young age, or even saving up so much money. But this channel is going to give you a lot of creative ways where you can utilize or work with other people in order to really get yourself going on this property journey, and hopefully get started and do much better than myself. Now, of course, when I actually thought about this video, I had so much more to tell you, but I realized that every single person is different, and I concluded with 2 points. Firstly, I'm still unsure if you're actually here, so it would be a waste of time if I just carried on rambling right now. So if you are here, then please do let me know in the comments below, and ask me any questions as well. If there's any sort of clarifications that you require or any guidance, and I'll try my best to absolutely help you. And the second is, as I mentioned earlier, that everyone's situation is specific to themselves. So sometimes you need specific guidance. And if that is what you require, then don't forget to book in that 15-minute call on every Friday that I have with investors or budding investors, just to give one man's perspective. Oh shit, there was actually a third point as well. That's why I need you to like this video, because it's the right thing to do. And I know you like doing the right things. Plus it helps this channel and also potentially helps other people from getting roped in to buying courses where I'm just going to be giving you the information for absolutely free. So until next time, I sincerely say thank you for spending time with me today. You could have been literally doing anything, so I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching.